So this first question that I got from a dude, he was basically saying, he was basically asking me, should you just stay in your lane? And he was basically saying, since he was like, I'm a decent looking guy, I'm not like the best looking guy, but I see really hot girls. And he's like, should I just go for average chicks since I'm average? And he's basically saying he thinks he should stay in his lane. You feel what I'm saying? And there's just so much stuff that's just wrong with that, just that equation, that question, or just that statement, or whatever it is. It's something wrong with that. There's a lot wrong with it. I'm going to tell you, why, and why you shouldn't even be thinking like that, all right? So, the thing is this, man. There is no lane that you need to stay in. There is no lane. When you start to think of this, stay in your lane, or stay in your league, or she's out of my league, or whatever, you already lost the game thinking like that. See, a lot of guys think that, there are women that are above them. They think that there are women who are better than them. And usually this thinking basically just comes from the fact that the woman is cute, or they think the girl looks good. So since they think the girl looks good, then they think that this is the end all be all. They think that her looking good is something special that they need to, that they can't compete, they can't attain to. They like, well, I'm not that good looking. Other guys are gonna want her. I can't get her because you got all these other guys and she's so hot and all this other nonsense. So this is where you get guys who think they need to stay in their lane or stay in their league, or this girl is out of their league. And I've talked about this, on a couple of podcasts, and I was saying there's no such thing as a girl who's out of your league. There is no, it doesn't exist. You may think, oh, this girl's really hot, so she gets, guys who are, have a lot of money, who have status, who got this swag or whatever this shit is. You understand what I'm saying? So you're thinking that you can't get with her. You say to yourself, I can't compete. You feel what I'm saying? And the thing is, too, is that there's no real competition, because the thing is, when you're dealing with somebody, you got to understand that you're unique and there's nobody else like you, so you're bringing something different to the table every time. You're bringing something different than everybody else can bring. That's the thing that you guys need to understand. If you keep thinking that this girl is better than you, or she's above you, or you can't get her because you're average looking or whatever, all this other crap, then you're not going to get the girls. Because what you're doing right now is that you're shooting low. You're not shooting high. You're not going for the best shit. You understand? It's kind of like if you were in a business negotiation or something, right? And you started talking about money, right? You let's say if you really wanted like $10 million, right? If you want 10 million, ask for 25 million. Because by the end of the conversation, it might go down to 10 million if you negotiate. You understand what I'm saying? But if you're starting at 10, or you're going below 10, think, well, maybe I shouldn't ask for 10 because 10 seems like too much and I don't know if I'm going to get it. Let me just ask for 5, and then you're probably going to get 1 because you're shooting too low. You have to shoot high all the time. You understand what I'm saying? You got to shoot there. You can't think that, you can't sit there and think, well, I can't get her because she's up there. And that's another thing. You shouldn't be thinking that the chick is up there. You understand? But if you should see a chick and say, well, I think she's quality, but you shoot for that quality and don't think you have to stay in a certain lane. You understand what I'm saying? That's ridiculous. This is why a lot of you guys have trouble dealing with girls, because you still believe that there are certain girls who are out of your league, or that's not in your lane, and you're thinking, well, she's a 10, and then you look at yourself as a 6 or a 7, and you're thinking, well, I can't get her because she's a 10. You understand? That's what's going on in your head. And if you keep thinking that, you're going to continue to get below average chicks, because you're shooting for below average chicks because you think that's all you deserve. You understand what I'm saying? It really starts from your own mind. And I was talking about this in my I did a podcast yesterday, and I was talking about how guys, they think that their looks are more important than the game. They think it's more important than their game, which is false. because your looks don't do anything for the women. I be trying to tell you guys this. Your looks are like the last thing on the list in most cases. Yes, a woman will be attracted to a guy because he looks good, but that's where it stops. She's going to think he looks good, but that's where it stops. The looking good is the icing on the cake for the woman, but it's not the cake, because women look to men to see what the man can do for them. So that she's looking, can he be a protector? Can he be a provider? Can he, does he have enough game to upgrade me, to teach me something? This is what women look for. This is why you can have a guy who's, quote unquote average looking dude who can spit some game and spit some shit, and he'll have chicks just eating out of his hands. It's not like he's good looking. He's not the best looking dude. You understand what I'm saying? It's not like he's the best looking guy, but he knows how to talk to them to make them feel a certain way, to make them feel him. You understand? But you guys are still thinking from the mentality of a man. You're thinking and you're looking at it from a man's perspective. You understand? It's kind of like, I was on Facebook today and I put up the post of talking about like women aren't really that interested in your looks. And one of the guys was saying, well, no matter how much game a guy has, if he's ugly, then the woman's not going to feel him. You understand? But you got to understand, and he was saying that's the same way as if a woman is ugly, but then she has a lot of interesting things to say. You understand? And it's not the same thing. Because guys, we don't look at it the same way. We approach women because they look good. We want them to look good because of biological reasons of us wanting to spread our seed, of us wanting to get with these chicks to have sex with them, and we want the healthiest, hottest looking thing. That's why we want them to look good. You understand? A woman doesn't need you to look good. If you got a guy who looks good, right, and you got a guy who's like average looking or whatever, if the average looking guy, has more game than the good looking guy, has more money and all this other shit, she's gonna get her. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, if they're both, equally matched in game or whatever, you understand? Maybe the guy who's good looking might get her if he still like tries hard. He still has to go and try the same way the guy who is not so good looking has to try. You understand? Like there's a dude named what's his name? Paul Janka. Google Paul Janka. Paul Janka is he's like a pickup artist type of guy, and he's a good looking guy. He looks like he could be basically like a male model for like Calvin Klein or some shit. And he goes out and he talks to guys, and he talks to teaches guys how to get girls, and he himself still gets rejected a lot. He himself has to go through a whole bunch of bullshit. He himself has to go through girls flaking on him. You understand? It's not just about you looking good. So when you're starting from there and then you're thinking, well, this girl's out my league because like she, you're thinking like she's out of my league because she looks good, or she's not on I'm not on her level. Then you're defeating yourself, and you're going to always shoot low. And this is why you're not going to get hot chicks. This is why you're not going to get, the type of chicks you want. Because you're continuing to shoot low. You understand? And this is why you keep getting the subpar girls. You feel what I'm saying? Because when I was younger, I used to go through that shit. I used to be on that bullshit. You understand? And I remember I saw this chick, and I was talking to like this crazy hot chick. I was just like, I'm just going to go and say what's up. Right? And so I went up and talked to her. And we're talking, and my heart was beating all fast, and I'm breathing like mad heavy because I'm nervous and shit and whatever. But then when I started talking to her, and I was like, man, this ain't shit, man. This ain't nothing. You know what I mean? And it was like, it wasn't the big deal. I made it up in my mind, or thinking that I had to do something special or more because she's because she looks good. And that's what I need to get you guys out of, because when you keep, thinking that, you're going to fuck your shit up. This is what I'm trying to tell you. There is no woman who is out of your league. I don't care how hot she is. I don't care where she came from. I don't care if there's like 100 other guys trying to holler. You understand what I'm saying? You know why? Because those 100 other guys are not you. You understand what I'm saying? They're not you. You have to understand your value. You have to understand that you are extremely valuable because there's nobody else like you. Think about an artist or an actor, or somebody in the public eye who you admire, who you think is awesome, who you think does great work. You know, you admire them, you think they're great because there's something about them that's unique to them that nobody else does, that nobody else has. Like, if even, let's say you're thinking about a rap artist, you know, like, let's say you like, you know, Kendrick Lamar or something. There's something about him, the way he flows, the way his voice sounds, the way he does stuff on a track, that you have to go to Kendrick Lamar to get that. You understand what I'm saying? So it's the same thing when you're dealing with girls. They have to go to you to get what you have. And nobody else has that. You understand? So this is why when people say, well, you know, she's out of my league, or, you know, I'm not on her level, or I'm just going to stay in my lane, you're defeating yourself before you even started. And then you're going to defeat yourself for other women. You know what I'm saying? This starts with a mind state. I'm telling you guys, you have to think. You have to think about it like this. You have to understand that it starts with how you think, how you know, see the world, how you look at the whole shit. Because you have to look at chicks like, yo, she ain't shit. And not in a disrespectful way. You understand what I'm saying? I'm talking about, you have to look at it like, it ain't shit for me to go and talk to you. It's not a big deal. You're just a human being. So fucking what? And this is what it is. You understand? But then when you start to, you know, add value to her in your mind, then it's a wrap for you. Then you killed it. You're done. It's over. You understand what I'm saying? That shit is not cool to do that. You know what I mean? And I really need you guys to understand, like, how women look at you. Women do not see you and say, oh, well, he's good looking, so that's it. You understand? Like, there are girls who are going to say that, and it's usually younger girls, like, you know, 20, 21 or whatever. They'll see a guy and they'll think he's cute and they'll want to have sex with him, right? Does that mean that they are going to have sex with him? No, because he still has to go up and say something. Even if he does say something, does that mean that they're going to have sex with him? No, because they still go through all of this other nonsense of them, you know, these women, they'll be in the situation where they can get sex from the guy, and they'll still front, they'll still do all this other bullshit. And this is why I say it's important for you to have game, because if you have game, you know how to maneuver around the bullshit they're going to put you through. You understand what I'm saying? Because me, myself, you know, I used to model. Like, I'm not, you know, I don't look like the best looking dude in the world, but, you know, I'm a pretty good looking guy. And I have friends who are in the modeling industry who's on some super model shit, right? And I had a real good friend named Raymond, and he would basically, he's, you know, one of them dudes you would see on the Calvin Klein bags and the American Apparel bags, those type of dudes or whatever. And, you know, chicks thought he was good looking or whatever. And he would still fuck with the chicks, and they would still front. They would still flake. They would still be on bullshit. You understand what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. Do you understand this? But the thing is that you have to be focused on your value and then bring that to the women, bring that to the interactions, and not sit there thinking, damn, well, I'm not so good looking, so probably she don't like me, or she might like another guy. Fuck all of that shit. Just go out there and you got to really do your thing and not worry about that shit. You understand what I'm saying? But when you're worrying about it, this is when you fuck up. And that's really what I need to get you guys to understand. Like, seriously. Seriously. So it's like, you know, it's one of those things, man. It's one of those things. And you know, I really want you guys to understand that aspect of it. Oh, let me write this thing on here real quick. So, yeah, because I have, you know, I really get pissed off, man. Like when I see this going on, when I see this shit going on, when I see guys having trouble with ladies like that, and when it's actually starting from you thinking something's wrong with you. You feel what I'm saying? That shit is whack, man. But yeah, I got some more questions from some people. So and again, if any of you guys need to send me questions, you know, whenever, just send it to askmrlocario@gmail.com, and I will answer your questions. You know, if you use the Ask Mr. Locario program, you get the questions answered in one day.